Wanyanyekavu was thinking for a few seconds and then grabbed his cane, twisted it, and his spear came forward. This is an assegai. I need 8 of these. And Elisha smiled at Wanyanyekavu. We can make that one even better. We need 9. Wanyanyekavu replied. 9 it is. Okay, there are 2 more Zulu words we need to know for now. They are impi, the plural form easy mpi. Now, impi means battle formation. When you hear this word, it is essential to stop everything and prepare for battle. You will always be in defensive mode. He then shouted, Iwa! Looking at everyone's faces, he said, The last Zulu word you will need to know for now is Iwa. It means war or fight. This word is now not to be taken lightly or used lightly, for when you hear it, you are to fight at that moment. Not prepared, not get ready, but to fight. Think of it as a battle cry. Wanyanyekavu shouted, Iwa! Everyone sprung up but didn't know what to do except Daniel, who stood there with his weapon drawn. I like that, Daniel, Wanyanyekavu said. Taking his feet, Wanyanyekavu showed Daniel how to stand and find his center of gravity. Elijah smiled. That's little Bruce Lee. He has watched all his films. Walking by everyone, Wanyanyekavu illustrated the basic stance. Wanyanyekavu shouted, Iwa! Correcting everyone's stance by barely pushing them. If you fall, when I push you, your stance is weak, Wanyanyekavu said. Again, he shouted, Iwa! He continued until everyone's stance was correct. After a few hours of helping the group with terms and definitions, Wanyanyekavu and the group read and discussed the Torah, before ending the Jun. At 4 a.m. sharp the following day, Wanyanyekavu continued his teaching. As I told you yesterday, we use Jun to build up the spiritual man, but if you are not reading, meditating, or thinking about the Torah or Sabaoth, you are just going without food, and it's not a holy Jun. Jonathan and Elisha made notepads to help them keep up with their studies and handed out new weatherproof Torahs. As Wanyanyekavu grabbed his new Torah, he wrapped his old one up. This has been in my family for a very long time. He started flipping through the pages. The Torah comprises all the spiritual books ever written by Sabaoth's prophets and scribes in days of old. Men's tradition separated each book, and war has always been the outcome. He held up the book. Because of this book. The Bible, the Dead Sea Scrolls, and the Quran. He paused. Look to the back, the last book of the Torah. This is the Quran, a book of guidance. Its beginnings go back as far as the fall of the Roman Empire, at the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, the author. Wanyanyekavu continued flipping through the pages. Read about the Moors. No, as a matter of fact, read about everybody, everything, and every event. Try not to be ignorant of history, period. But back to Muhammad, when he was born, about 4 years after the death of Emperor Justinian, many Arabs were still worshipping the sun, stars, spirits, and idols. The Arabs possessed 360 idols, one for each day of the year. In his youth, he was never taught to read or write, being a shepherd boy. He eventually became a camel driver, traveling to remote and intriguing lands such as Persia, Syria, and Egypt, transacting business with merchants of every kind. Where he met Jews, Christians, and members of other sects, he interrogated them. The majority of Christians in the region were Monophysites, who were seen as heretics by the major Christian denominations of the time. As such, they were generally not accepted by the larger Christian community. Looking at Daniel and smiled, like most young men do, concerning their religions. He frequented the Jews and their rabbis, mostly because they were merchants and an omnipresent ethnic group. Since he could not read or write, he listened and was keen on everything the Jews related to him. Muhammad learned and extracted much from the Jewish religion and compounded it with Islam's new religion. It was just added to the Torah about a few centuries ago. Many fought against putting it in the Torah because it contradicts some of the other texts in other books. But an old prophet came forth and quoted Luke 9 verses 49 to 50 to them, which reads, Master, said John, we saw someone driving out demons in your name, and we tried to stop him because he is not one of us. And Shika said, Do not stop him, for whoever is not against you is for you. Years later, it was added.